And Christine, I've got to ask you, have you ever seen an actual genuine excitement on the Spurs Twitter reply thread when that team was put out? I mean, that was got to be the first time I've seen in years, almost unanimously, everyone going, I bloody love this. Do you agree?
Oh, completely. I don't want to be too harsh, but I saw a lot, obviously, with, Eric Dyer was not in the squad. And I think I don't want to give the guy abuse because I do think it's not great to give him too much. But I think it is time to, get rid of some of these players that I feel is not good enough now for this team. The one thing about it I will say is I think that starting lineup is brilliant. I was really happy with it as well. The fact that we were doing substitution, guys, was incredible to even watch. But I would have liked to have seen Solomon come on at some point because I've over with is it Skip? But I honestly think that team it is a great. I think it's brilliant start. And from what we've seen today, guys, it's just such a fantastic and positive feel already. And it's like we've been saying all this time, it's going to take a few more games for us to mold together. But from that first game, I truly believe that this is going to be, we're going to see some great results for Tottenham. It's just entertaining as well. I can't keep repeating myself with that.
As always, our team lineup's always broken down by the wonderful Ali Gold over at Football London. Cracks, I want to come over to you for, again, another human element moment that I'm sure you would have loved, we all would have loved at the start of that game before kickoff. A new thing now for Spurs, as Ali actually reported on. The team goes over to the travelling fans just before kickoff, applauds them, and then they have a team huddle. And what we saw today was a real roar and delight of Postecoglou's name being sung by the Spurs fans. This is his first official Premier League game in charge at the football club, and he's already got his name singing by fans. Of course, we want it louder and bigger for next week at home to give him a really, really big welcome, but that must be a wonderful feeling for Postecoglou, because I think he referred to it early in his Celtic days that he is adamant that he knows he won't be everybody's cup of tea to start with. It will be a process. There will be bumps in the road. It will be a transitional period, but to have the fans on side this early must mean so much to him. And just to get you to interact them.
I love that. It's something new. It's something different. It's just that, just change it up. Just a little thing, but it's drawing a line, isn't it? It's drawing a line. This is what we're going to do now. Here's your new players. Here's your new way of playing. We're going to do this. And it pepped the away fans up. Obviously, as always, when you're away, outnumbered in the crowd, so to get them up and going straight away, absolutely fantastic. I mean, where they're going to do the huddle at home then? I suppose it would just be in the middle, won't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Really,
it will slowly start developing to the south stand, and actually in the south stand by half time.
So no, I like that. I do like that.
And as of this show also being out, Alistair Gold has claimed false to any rumours of a move to Saudi. So where do we stand, do you think, in your mind, Pat, on this defensive situation? Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer, do you think either of them or both could still leave the club between now and the end of the window, in your opinion?
Well, yeah, I think both could leave the club. Obviously, Eric Dyer, you can clearly see that he doesn't really have a future here under Ange Postecoglou. Postecoglou's been quite ruthless. I mean, the old senior leadership team, none of those guys are involved in the new one. He's been quite clear and direct with who's playing and who's in his plans. It looks like Eric Dyer isn't, which is good news. And, I'm not here to abuse Eric Dyer. I don't think he's good enough. I don't want to see him in a Spurs shirt again. But so I'm hoping that he does find a move. Ironically, Davinson Sanchez will look better in this new setup because we're not playing the same setup we did under Conte and Jose, where it's 5 behind the ball, defend for your life, and you're tested and tested and tested. With a high line for defenders, you're seeing Davinson Sanchez look better because he can rely on his pace. He can obviously get us out of trouble, and we're a bit more in control because we have a lot more of the ball. Davinson Sanchez isn't an answer for me going forward, but I'd rather him in the team than Eric Dyer all day long. But I do feel that today is a prime example of why we still need, and why a lot of fans said we need 2 top centre-backs. So it was always Mickey van der Ven and Tapsoba, because Romero coming off, getting injured, these things happen. And lo and behold, we're back to Davinson Sanchez. And he was good today, he was good against Barcelona, but over the course of the season, can we trust him? Probably not. I'd like to see that position upgraded. And it's nothing against Davinson Sanchez, it's just for the betterment of the team and for us to progress. We need obviously better players. We still need, in my opinion, another attacker or two, because again, the bench was quite light. If something happens to Richarlison, we don't actually have a, you know, an out number 9 there. We bought this Valise guy, but no one knows what he's going to look like. He's 19. He's going to need time. So we definitely still need a few additions, but the squad is very bloated at the moment. But yeah, going back to Eric Dyer, you've had a great career at Tottenham. Probably stayed there maybe 2 or 3 seasons too long. You know, we commend you and applaud you and shake your hand for the service you've given us, but it is the time to move on. We're probably the nicest and friendliest club in the top 6 or the big 6 clubs. A lot of other clubs, when it's time to go, you see you later, rip up contracts, and we've been a bit too friendly. And if you look at the Champions League team, the rebuild, I mean, that 2019 Champions League final team, only Son's left from the players that started. So the rebuild is well and truly here. It is time for us to move forward. And that means, unfortunately, your Ben Davises, your Eric Dyers, and your Davinson Sanchez, these guys need to go so we can really freshen up the squad, bring in some young, hungry people that look like they want to be here, are hungry to prove a point, and we can fully move on. I don't want to be worried every time we make a substitution. You know, Lucas Moura's gone. You know, all these kind of guys that were too, like, just part of the old regime, they're all being phased out. And it is time, in my opinion. Yeah. Eric Dyer, Ben Davies, Davinson Sanchez, I'll keep him for now, but they need to go. I don't want to see Clement Longley coming back. I keep seeing every other day there's rumours and murmurs that we're working on something. You're not good enough either. So get some quality in, man. If you really want us to push on, get some quality in so that Ange can do what he needs to do, because he's clearly a good manager. He clearly has a philosophy. The guys are buying into it, but he's only going to be as good as the tools at his disposal. And right now, they're there, but they're not there, if you get what I mean.
Yep, absolutely. Christina, I'm going to come round to discuss the penalty that we got given against us. It was, I mean, look, the referee, to be fair, was advised to check it's monitored by VAR. It was I mean, again, on reflection, I've watched it, 4 or 5 times. We'll get an overall panel view on it, but we'll start with you, Christina.
Isn't it just typical, our first game of the season, and literally we had to be the ones to have the softest penalty given? It was just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, and the thing is, like, to me, but after that was given, I did think it gave a reaction to Sonny. I think it sort of, lost his confidence a little bit after it is his first game as captain. And it was just, it was just absolutely ridiculous. I just think the ref, I have no idea what was going on, but he was just whacking those yellow cards like it was a game of Uno. I had no idea what was going on. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous, that referee. But yeah, so... But the only positive that I can take from this is, after all of that, what happened, we still continue to fight. And I think that's a positive that we can take from this team, because before we would have just been like, oh, great, we'll sit back and, given up basically. But we didn't. We kept going and going. And that's what I want to take a positive from that. Yeah, that penalty, honestly, I think it was just absolutely ridiculous.